Yo guys, welcome to the last lap. Don't forget to drop a lovely, juicy 5-star rating if you're watching on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Hope you enjoy, and let's get into it. Like, it pisses me off so much when I see people that they're just like, oh, they shouldn't be complaining because it's the dream job. I'd love to have that job. Well, why can't we just change it for the better? Like, it's not, F1 doesn't exist in nature. It wasn't Adam and Eve and fucking Stefano. Like, like we come up with these rules.
And then there was Domenicali.
We come up with these rules, so let's just fucking make concessions for this.
Someone
for human
is so
fucking beings.
photoshopping Domenicali into like
Into the garden of
The
Eden.
apple is Stefano's head. It's like, no, it just it does my head in, because like we can make it better. Like we can, like, this is one of the richest sports in the world. There's so much money in the sport. We can build concessions, whether it's building it into the cost cap that you have to have alternating, pit crews or whatever. Like, cool. If anything, that gives people more opportunities to get in the sport, because then you have to hire more people, but on a more part-time basis, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I just think like there's an elegant solution. There's a more elegant solution than what we've
Than just going, let's have 6 more races and then just deal with it.
Yeah.
I just don't think that's...
But I think the same about
healthy.
Bringing the sprint in the first place, like changing the sport. Because I think a lot of people, you don't want to touch the sport. The sport's good. Like Q1, Q2, Q3 is like really good.
Yeah.
There's downsides, but I think generally speaking, like most people are happy with that.
Yeah.
But it's like, but let's try things. I've been quite happy how, Ross Brawn's talked about this when he was in charge anyway. He's left now. But, it's good to try stuff, and you're only going to know until you try.
You're always going to get pushback for everything. Do you remember that qualifying format they tried? Like, was it, I don't know when it was, I'm going to be honest with you. Was it like 2015 or
It was
something? And
the knockout thing.
oh,
They did like 2 races. They did it.
It was like what you get now, but like every 5 minutes, someone would get like eliminated or something. I want to say it was like years ago. I've kind of forgotten now.
It was like on a timer, and that
didn't work.
It didn't work. They did it literally one Grand Prix in Australia, and we're like, this is shit.
The pundits couldn't keep up, and it was.
I think it's good that they try things. I mean, like, very few people, I would say, have got a problem with the fact that there's 2 formats now throughout the season, that you've got the sprint as well.
Yeah.
And I saw there's a ton of discourse around whether they should have different formats for different races to make those races better, i.e., what do you do for Monaco? There's a lot of speculation about whether it'll be axed. I doubt it will. I know you guys have spoken about it, but why not just create a format that kind of works for that? It would be very complex, but is it worth testing it? Perhaps.
I don't even necessarily think it would have to be like crazily complex. Like, you always say, like, just do a 2-stop at Monaco.
Just 2-stop Monaco.
Guaranteed.
Yeah.
Like 2-stop Monaco, and then one.
There's not really many ways that you can make Monaco a good overtaking track.
2-stop Monaco and 1-stop the qualifying.
Yeah.
So that no one can, crash and ruin everyone else's lap, which
They
has
have a
happened
different- they have a
so
different-
many times.
They have a different format for F2 qualifying. They split it up into 50%, like half the people go up one
Imagine
session.
all the F2 cars around Monaco at the same time.
Insane.
Yeah,
Would not go well.
Yeah, it would last a minute and a half before someone bins it.
And look, Monaco's this legacy event that, when you actually think about that track, it's ridiculous. Like, this track is it's so different to everything else. It's so different. Like, even the other street circuits, it's totally different to Singapore.
Yeah.
Like, you look at how like narrow it is, the undulate. Like it's completely different.
Before Mirabeau, there's not like another like section of track in Formula One that's like that.
And I'm all for it. Like, I like that, we've got diversity of tracks, of different styles of tracks, different environments, different characteristics that are gonna, some cars are gonna do well on certain tracks compared to others. Like, I think, from what we hear, like Monaco might be a bit of a struggle for Red Bull, because they're not necessarily going to be able to unlock this DRS, worldie that they've got at the minute. But then just nudge the rules around just to accommodate and make it, like, it's only Monaco. It's fine.
It's only Monaco.
just one race. Just change it for one race. I'm cool with that.
Yeah,
but,
I hear it.
But I mean, obviously with Baku, we've got the sprint, and I think that, I don't know. What do we? I think we've got to do predictions somewhat going into it, because the next time we talk will be, it'll be the live stream, but we've got to do because we've got McLaren with upgrades coming. I think Alpine have got some significant upgrades coming as well.
Just get them in the top 4 fight as well. Fuck it.
What we
Could
say?
you imagine?
Because
maybe a dogfight between Mercedes, Ferrari, Aston Martin, McLaren, Alpine.
Because we've got 2
Everyone
lots of
else
qualifying.
Yeah, everyone. Just everyone.
No, Williams is a howitzer in a straight line. So,
Yeah, true.
And
true.
Baku's very straight liney, isn't it? So we've got 2 lots of qualifying to predict and 2 races to predict.
Fucking hell.
It makes everyone's job so much harder.
Should we just predict FP1 as well? Whilst
let's do it,
might
let's
as
do
well.
it.
Everything else is getting a prediction.
Alonso tops practice for me.
Yeah,
straight away.
Facts. Yeah. Stroll's up there, third.
What do we reckon in? I'm not even going to break down the sessions. It's going to be Max, isn't it, in Red Bull? Like
You can't
Every
look past
section.
them.
Yeah.
You cannot look past them. I think it's a safe bet. If you were putting your money on it, you go Red Bull every time, right? But then with these upgrade packages, Mercedes changing things around, it's a difficult prediction to make. I'm still going to go with Aston Martin, following them up for sure. I think that's the safest way to go.
Aston need to sort out their DRS though, because their DRS is one of the weakest.
Really? Just make it wider.
Yeah, just easy.
It's easy, mate.
Just crank it, just bend it. Just bend it a bit more.
I can't wait for you to get a
effort.
call from like Mike Crack in a minute and just be like, Niran.
Fucking genius.
Might be onto something there, mate. We've not fucking tried that. Yeah.
That's my. I don't think. I think it's going to be Ferrari second quickest.
Do you reckon?
This weekend.
Leclerc's redemption, maybe. Get a
I
season
think
off for a
Ferrari are
start
decent
properly.
in a straight line. So I think that's gonna, because Baku's a really, because it's straight lines and then 90. Like there's no medium speeds at all. The whole track, there's not a single medium speed corner.
Yeah. No, there isn't really, is there?
Like it's all
Because even the non 90 degrees are the fast stuff at the end.
Yeah,
of
you're
that.
just still pinned full throttle.
Yeah.
Everyone's pinned full throttle. So
Yeah, actually that's true. Yeah, it might be a decent track for Ferrari. Charles Leclerc might be a bit distracted, to be fair.
should we talk about Charles?
He's making music, mate.
Well, there's been, when we're on the show, right, we talk about rumours that are flying around, and obviously some of them you're just like, oh, it's just, that's nonsense. There's no point talking about that. But I think, we've seen apparently, some journalists in the know in Italy have been discussing how it's a bit of an open secret that Charles Leclerc has been having talks with Mercedes. Now, again, that could be waffle, all right? And
I hope it's not.
we love a bit of waffle on
Talk
it.
to them, Charles.
But
Yeah, please. At least have a conversation.
we were
man.
chatting beforehand. We were looking at Charles' contract. It ends at the end of 2024. You've got Lewis's contract goes to the end of this season. You've got to wonder, if Mercedes can give Lewis a competitive car, then he's going to be incentivized to stay. If they continue to struggle in like third, fourth quickest car, he might be incentivized to leave. We talked about this last week. I was like, if I was Charles Leclerc, I'd bank on Mercedes. I'd gamble on Mercedes over Ferrari any day.
Yeah. I was saying
What do
I'd
we
make
think?
them sweat. I'd just wait until I'm in the final year of my contract, see what both teams can offer me. You've got a power position once your contract's expiring. Ferrari would be like, oh my God, back to Charles Leclerc.
Oh,
We'll
for
throw
sure.
anything at him, throw any promise under the sun at him.
It's like Tommo was saying, you could do a Raikkonen and just rinse the contract.
Yeah,
That'd be
fact,
brilliant. That'd be
1000%,
insane.
yeah.
It'd be like
Million per
buyout.
point. I'll take that.
Million per
easy.
point.
Well, he hasn't got many points yet.
Well, yeah, true.
I mean, look, with that, the Mercedes shake-up we were saying earlier, does that dictate what's going to happen in the next few seasons? Because if Hamilton's in a competitive car, he'll stay. I have no doubt in my mind that he'll stay.
Yeah.
So is there a seat for Leclerc? Does he just have to ride it out? That's a question that needs to come in. But I think Ferrari is almost like a no-go. I cannot see things changing. I just have zero faith, like at all, in the fact that they'll turn it around. I can't see it happening.
we kind of just had an epiphany last week. We were just like, they haven't actually won a Constructors' Championship or a Drivers' Championship in a long time. And
That team
being
is
honest,
actually pretty
Before I
mid.
started watching the sport.
yeah, exactly. They're just legacy merchants. Like, if we're going to be totally real, we've been here for a
They're just
while.
Williams again, aren't they?
Alfa Romeo have been here for a while.
Yeah,
Do you know what I
that's
mean?
what I mean. 1950
so-
world champion Alfa Romeo.
You love
Before
that.
30 again.
Love that.
I
That's
do.
one to whip out when
I
you're
do.
not out, isn't it?
No, it's one of the. I said it, and then after I double checked, and I was like, yes, I was right.
He was right.
Yes,
Come
brilliant.
on.
Big up.
Was it Ascari? I think it was first one, wasn't it?
I think it's Farina or Ascari. I can't remember.
It's impressive for a corner.
Seppi Farina.
Sorry, that's shit.
Great. That's great.
Worse than the
I'm back
Baku
with
one,
that.
honestly.
Well, so